Former officials in the erstwhile Mills Mahama NDC administration are not cooperating with ongoing investigations into the Airbus scandal. Deputy Attorney General Godfred Dame told a high-level anti-graft meeting Thursday. This observation, according to him, is worrying. According to the government lawyer, a full legal process will be pursued if the people involved refuse to cooperate.
The prosecutor will unravel the full circumstances if the key actors involved will not want to come up and explain their role and circumstances before the people. The legal process will be pursued to ensure that they are held to account. And it's all in the spirit of accountability. And I will reiterate that where a person has taken an oath to defend the Constitution of Ghana, which starts with probity and accountability as a guiding principle, it is very unreasonable and ironic that the same person would not want to account to people on a major transaction which has become a subject matter of a criminal investigation in the United Kingdom, and indeed punishment.
Godfred Dame said the Attorney General's office has written to the British government seeking information about the identities of the Ghanaians involved in the scandal.
The entry into of a deferred prosecution agreement, and as I indicated, it was on the back of an admission of the facts. It was on the back of a readiness to cooperate with investigations. It was on the back of the institution of remedial measures by the company in question, and the company was subsequently fined. And the fine is a conviction. The fine was very punitive and deterrent enough. So in this case, where the people are unwilling to admit the fact, of course there will be a prosecution when the full facts are unraveled, and I believe that the full consequences of the law will be applied.
So should the people come forward, admit the facts, will there be a deferred prosecution? What exactly would happen?
No, definitely not. I mean, the laws of Ghana, even now, do not admit of a deferred prosecution agreement. So indeed, those were recommendations that I was making for a reform of the process for the punishment of commercial crimes, certain classes of commercial crimes. It's not every commercial crime. It's not plain corruption. It's not plain thievery. It's not plain theft that will be admitted in the deferred prosecution agreement.
Okay, but I still did not get
to the nature of the offense that was investigated in the UK. Definitely may be a little bit different from what the circumstances in Ghana warrant.
Okay, but I still did not get an answer to the question about whether those involved have been invited regarding this investigation.
Well, I believe they've been invited. The whole nation will be aware. Yes.
They've not been invited, or if they've been invited, the whole nation will be aware. What exactly are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is that definitely they've not been invited because the process was triggered recently. I mean, the referral to the child prosecutor was even not more than 2 weeks ago, if my memory serves me right. And that thing also wrote very recently, triggering a process of mutual legal assistance.
But finally, Mr. Dame, since you are expressing an opinion on the matter today, yes, I would want to find out from you, there's an opinion also going around that this is a political tool for the NPP, especially in an election year.
How can it be a political tool? I think that it was pretty much unsolicited. The Airbus scandal was very much brought upon the NDC by the NDC itself. It was a transaction that occurred between 2011 and 2015. At that time, the NDC was not in office. The actors acted voluntarily. I do not think the MPP or any member of the MPP played any role in the collection of bribes. It was purely by the actors in question, and the judgment occurred in the United Kingdom. It did not occur at the behest of the government of Ghana. It was purely pursuant to proceed investigations that were conducted across 26 countries, the UK, France, United States, as well as 23 other countries, including Ghana. And the government of Ghana had no role at all. So clearly it was unsolicited. It's something that was necessitated by events that occurred in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
That's the judgment of the Crown Court of England. And Ghana government owes that a responsibility, as a duty to the people, to take it up. I think that clearly the best form of, or the best demonstration of the fight against corruption, the best demonstration of a commitment to uphold the rule of law. placed by President Jonathan Akufo-Addo to have ordered investigations into the matter. And that is what he has done. I think that we must allow the process to go on.
Now, I said finally, though, but one quick one also just before we go, because in your earlier submission, you mentioned that the people or person is going around campaigning. I would want to find out specifically from you who you're referring to.
Oh, I'm referring to the vice president who transformed into a president and won and lost the first won election in 2012 and lost 2016 elections.
And his name is?
Campaigning to come back again in 2020. And I'm saying that if...
Are you referring to Mr. John Dramani Mahama?
Absolutely, clearly.
Okay.
If he superintended such a transaction which became the subject matter of criminal proceedings and indeed a conviction in the kingdom has taken place.
Okay.
And you still want to go around campaigning for votes from the same people, yet you keep mute, you maintain stone silence in respect of the matter to the people of Ghana. I don't see it.
Deputy Attorney General Godfred Dame there naming former President John Mahama, who is also flag bearer of the NDC, as the government official one in the Airbus scandal. More details of that story as it develops, we'll bring that to you. But before we go on to do sports, some of the persons accused of plotting to overthrow government are said to have held discussions on whether or not to kill the president once the plot succeeds. They're also alleged to have planned to acquire electronic equipment solely for the purpose of jamming the National Communications Authority's system to render all broadcasting stations except the state broadcaster useless. Court correspondent Joseph Akablay was at the Kaneshi District Court as the state urged it to commit them to stand trial at the High Court. We'll bring you the details in our subsequent bulletins with Joseph Akablay.